You're watching Two Button Crew,
the daily show for Nintendo fans.
I'm Scott.
And I'm Simeon.
Great to see you, Simeon.
Good to see you, Mr. Scott.
Yesterday it was nice, thinking back on Mr. Iwata and the fond memories we have of him. So now that he's gone, let's talk about what that means for Nintendo and Nintendo fans. I think it's a big question everybody has. What's the leadership going to look like? What could some new directions be? What's kind of left over from decisions Iwata's already made? So I think we should get into all of that.
I agree.
All right.
So what does the leadership look like right now, and where does it stand right now?
So temporarily, Mr. Miyamoto and Takeda were put in charge equally as the CEO to just kind of cover for him in the interim. In the long term, it could be Mr. Miyamoto. I'm not familiar with Takeda. I'm not sure what his normal position is. Maybe one of them will remain the CEO, but I think it's equally or more likely that someone else will take their place. I know that Miyamoto is getting close to retirement. He's old, and I know that he loves to be hands-on with the development and involved with the development teams and stuff. I can't really see him doing that, but I think that they'll probably go for someone younger, and could be there's a variety of possibilities. I'm not sure if they necessarily need to be Japanese either. It could be someone from a different country that's going to have more of a global approach, and
that could be
kind of make the companies act together more. And actually, Mr. Iwata was recently placed in charge of Nintendo of America as well. So the companies might want to unite their efforts more. Maybe the new leadership will do that more aggressively.
That could be.
There's also the possibility that, having a new CEO is kind of a big chance to change things up. So it could be that someone comes in who wants to expand the target audience, maybe appeal to younger kids as well as older gamers. So I just think it's, of course, sad, but it's a cool chance that the company could look different in a couple of years.
It could look very different.
Think about that.
Well, I think it could be possible. I think that that's where a lot of other companies are heading. They're trying to head for a more expanded approach, and maybe Nintendo wants to take a cue from that and maybe go for a more global approach. They've been a very, for lack of a better term, Japanese company that focuses on very much cultural cues, and so they might want to expand that a little bit. But I think you're right that we could be in for some big changes. But we do have this quote from Miyamoto. He says, "The entire development team at Nintendo will remain committed to our development policy, which Mr. Iwata and we have been constructing together, and to yield the development results which Mr. Iwata would appreciate." So for now and for the foreseeable future, we have this kind of honoring of Iwata and for what he did and how he would have wanted things. Right. So for now, that's what we're going to see. But when a new president takes place, things might change. Hopefully, Mr. Iwata would still be honored by his changes.
Yes. And I don't think Mr. Miyamoto really would or could have said anything else. It kind of would have been disrespectful on that weekend to say,
that's true.
Yeah, we're getting ready to change everything up. But at the same time, I do think it's true. Reggie has said something similar. His quote is, "Mr. Iwata's gone, but it will be years before his impact on both Nintendo and the full video game industry will be fully appreciated. He was a strong leader for our company, and his attributes were clear to most everyone: intelligence, creativity, curiosity, and a sense of humor. But for those of us fortunate enough to work closely with him, what will be remembered most were his mentorship and especially his friendship. He was a wonderful man. He always challenged us to push forward, to try the new, to upset paradigms, and most of all, to engage, excite, and endear our fans. That work will continue uninterrupted." So again, there's another leader of Nintendo saying the tone that Iwata set is going to continue. The ripple effects of his decisions are going to be felt for a long time. And I think it's similar to what happened when Steve Jobs passed away. Like, obviously, he had been involved with the next couple iPhone models, the next however many devices they made. And I think really we're just starting to get past that point where maybe Steve Jobs' plans have kind of expired, and we'll probably see a similar thing with Nintendo. It's not like a new CEO is going to get appointed next week and
everything is going to immediately
company.
change. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, any change takes time. For me, when I think about the impact of Mr. Iwata's death, I don't only see that impacting Nintendo, but I see this having a huge impact for the years to come on the gaming industry, because up to this point, how many big name developers have passed away?
Very few.
Very few. I can think of Ralph Baer. He passed away just earlier this year. He was the founder of Atari, I believe. Gunpei Yokoi. He passed away soon after I really started getting into the whole culture of video games. Back, I think it was in 2005. But other than that, like big name developers, that hasn't happened.
Yeah, that's a part of being in such a young industry.
Yeah, it's a young industry, and I think it's starting to show it has some age. Like, there is maturity to the video game industry, whereas the film industry, it's been around forever. We have, filmmakers who have come and gone, and we see their impact and we see their legacy, and now it's like an established industry, whereas people, when they think of video games, they think, that's something for kids or whatnot, or that's relatively new. But it's actually been around for over 50 years, and I think now we're finally starting to see his death is like showing the maturity of the industry. It's coming into a more mature age, and it can start to be taken really seriously as a legitimate form of entertainment and as a legitimate art form. I know there's a lot of debate about that, but I think that this means that we can start to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope for a couple of more simple small changes in a more global approach. If there's a CEO that can kind of oversee Japan, Europe, America, I hope that they will make the global approach better communicated to fans. Like if a game gets announced in Japan, I hope that the leadership of Nintendo doesn't just kind of pretend it doesn't exist, but will comment, we actually don't have any plans to localize this, or we're still gauging how much fans would be interested in it before we announce it, or something like that. I also would like it if they took away region locking and stuff like that. That would be nice.
That would be very nice.
Yeah, and it's not like Mr. Iwata is really holding these things back. I saw comments from him that they were considering doing away with region locking more than ever. I'm just kind of excited to see what a fresh take on the company will be, because there's only been 4 presidents of Nintendo. Nintendo didn't start with the NES. They've been around for over 100 years now.
Over 100 years, yeah.
And only 4 presidents. I mean, they stick around there. So it'll be interesting to see what a new person does.
Absolutely.
I have one last question. Maybe this is slightly morbid. I don't know. But there's got to be some Nintendo Direct footage made with him in it. Will they use that, do you think? Because we see directs once a quarter, I think.
Something like that.
I'm sure that there's some footage that's being edited, put together right now.
My guess is that they'll release it sometime, but I don't think they're going to release it in a direct. I think that they're going to release it separately. It would surprise me if they did. But I don't think it's out of the question, but I would be surprised.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think there could be some footage. But will we see that? Will we not? Who knows?
Yeah. And it's good that other leadership in Nintendo have been involved with that. Like Bill Trinian's in them, Reggie's in them, developers are in them, because they can carry the Nintendo Directs for a short time until someone new is appointed.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's kind of an exciting time to see, especially in the midst of all of these changes to the company, going into mobile development, a new platform in development, all that stuff. It is an exciting time, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is a pivotal point for Nintendo.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see like all of the tributes to Iwata in Miiverse and on social media and everywhere. Yeah, keep it up, guys. You're doing great supporting Nintendo and coming around Nintendo fans during this time. It's been cool to see. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for watching this episode, and thank you for being a part of the crew.
Don't forget to like, to comment, and most of all to hit that big red subscribe button.
We'll see you next time.
Signing out.